What's up, guys? Welcome to Sharpen Your Sword podcast, episode number 7. Today we have a special guest on here. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the sharing and the caring and the messages. I really appreciate it. This podcast is growing, and we are doing this for you guys. So my biggest goal with this podcast is to take everything I know and take the network that I know and share it with you guys so we can give you guys value and different walks of your life, okay? Remember, sharpen your sword is, everybody has two swords, okay? One is your mind and one is your body, and you have to get up every single day and sharpen those swords so you can be a better person tomorrow for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for your country. And that's the whole purpose of Sharpen Your Sword podcast. On today's episode, guys, of Sharpen Your Sword podcast, we are going to have the one and only Kris. She is a big-time fitness influencer. I have my good friend Ben Nguyen and co-host Giovanni Jimenez.
Hey.
And like always, guys, Milliken Creative, the mastermind behind this podcast. I really appreciate him. He's the one that keeps us going. He's the one that gets all the reels and gets all the editing done. So thank you, Nate Milliken, Milliken Creative. If anybody needs anything, hit me up, and I'll get you his contact information. So, Kris, welcome to Sharpen Your Sword podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm going to let her introduce herself, guys. Like I said, she's big time into fitness. She's an influencer. She's very successful, and now she got into jiu-jitsu, and we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about behind the scenes of the fitness industry and influencer life, how to be successful. She's going to give you guys tips. Ladies, this one is really for you guys. That's why we brought her on here. That's why I brought her on here, because I hear a lot about her, and I'm learning a lot through about fitness through her, and especially the influencer life. So she's going to tell you a lot about that, and guys, listen up because she has a lot to say. So welcome, Kris.
Thank you. You say introduce, but you about covered it. I'm Kris. I'm a fitness influencer. I like to lift things. Nothing too complex, honestly.
You say that, but so for me as a business owner, I hate social media.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you are in fitness, okay? Ladies have a hard time sometimes getting in the gym, working out, and keeping a consistent schedule. So you're doing that, and then you're, meanwhile, that's your business. The influencer life is a business. You have your own business, okay? And that's where we are in 2023. Everybody's trending toward that direction, and getting into the social media and stuff like that. And so you're doing a lot, and you have a lot of followers on Instagram and TikTok, which is not easy. I've had a business for many years, and I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, and you do. So I want to learn how to get to that point, and I want to learn, and I want you to give the ladies tips on how to stay in the gym and stuff like that. So how did you get into fitness?
So let's think. I want to say I stepped into the gym, probably a little like 90-pound Kris. Same challenges that you would go through starting anything new. Did not know what I was doing. Stepped up in the gym, embarrassed and confused the whole time. But I just wanted to be strong. That's actually in my bio. I just wanted to be strong. I felt not good. I felt small. I felt weak. And I wanted to fix that. So this is kind of cliche, but the best advice I have for anybody wanting to start is just get your ass up in there. There's no better way to do it. You're going to be uncomfortable the whole time, but that's okay. What else did you ask me? I lost it.
That was pretty much it.
How long have you been working out?
So this marks, I think I'm in my 5th year now. Almost 6.
Consistent.
Yeah, like I haven't taken more than a few days off at a time unless I was sick, like really sick, maybe COVID time. Mm-hmm. And even then I lifted at home.
Okay. When we say consistent, how consistent are you in the gym? How often do you train?
Every day. I take 1 day off a week. So
Okay.
I'm in bodybuilding, and then I come to jiu-jitsu at the end of the day, too.
So 6 days of lifting. Okay. How did you get, because I'm sure, I mean, unless, maybe I'm wrong, but now I'm at 5 days of lifting. For me, I'm working a lot, I'm training a lot, and I'm lifting a lot. For me, I'm lifting a lot, right? Everybody's a lot is different. And I'm sure you have a lot of input on that. So I started off lifting 3 times a week, okay? Talked to Ben. Ben said, you got to do 5 days a week. So I started doing 5 days a week. And it took me a while to get to 5 days a week. A few years ago, I used to lift 6 days a week. I had a different schedule. I had a different lifestyle. I used to lift 6 days a week. What made you get to that point? Or what, because everybody has the biggest thing, you hear this all everywhere, right? In business, in personal life, if you want to succeed, the secret sauce is consistency, hard work and consistency. But people want to have the body. People want to have, the accolades and the achievements and the money, but they don't want to be consistent. Because it's hard to get up 6 days a week and go work out 6 days a week because you're going to be sore, right? And so what obstacles have you ran into trying to work out 6 days a week? And what tips do you have for those people to start working out? It may not be 6 days a week, right? But to keep a consistent schedule. What keeps you going, and how do you stay consistent?
So I want to say, first of all, the power of a habit. If you start going every day, you're going to keep going every day, just because that's a part of your day now. And yeah, just because that's a part of your day. And I won't say it was easy. I kind of went all in. I didn't start with 2 days and then work my way up. I crashed head first 5 days a week. A lot of pain involved, but you said it, there's no magic formula. It's just get up and get in there. Do you want the results? If you say you want them, then you'll do it.
That's pretty good. It's interesting that you said you went in head first, right? Because and there's 2 people that you get out of this, okay? There's the 2 people that go in head first. This is what I see happens. It's either they're so dedicated, right? And they just committed all the way that they go in head first and they keep going and succeeding, and they become like what I call like a warrior or an animal or a monster, right? And so you're now, your body says it all, your influencer pages say it all, and your consistency shows it. You're in there 6 days a week. So now 5 years later, look at you, right? If you didn't do that, then there's a good chance you wouldn't be here today in the same status, right? In the same success. You'll probably be successful. I'm not saying you won't, but at the same level, I don't think you would have. That's just my views on this. So you get that person, ends up like that, or you get the person that dumps head first, and then they realize really quick, oh snap, this is hard.
Burnout comes, yeah.
You know, this is serious. It's mentally challenging. I'm burned out. I don't want to work out. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to stay asleep. I want to lay on the couch. I want to eat Cheetos. And then they just stop after 2 weeks. And that's what we see every New Year, right?
Yep.
You see that every New Year. So how do you, because I'm sure as much as Ben and I or whoever it is, Gio, yourself, as much as we work out every day, right? That's second nature for us now, right? We have to work out every day. If I don't work out, I get in a bad headspace, okay? And so I motivate myself and remind myself why I do it. And so what gets you going every day? Because there's going to be days where I'm sure there's days that you wake up and you're like, man, I don't want to get up. So what gets you going, and what tips would you give to those people that have a hard time with that? Because I see so many people. I would say over 90% of the population struggle with this thing.
I would say you need to first realize which person you are. If you find yourself you're doing too much, I hate this, then you need to slow it down. Turn it into something, a hobby that you enjoy, not something that you have to get up and do every day. But if you look at Ben, he hates lifting, still comes with me every day, but he hates it. And I'm lucky enough to where after that initial head first of like, okay, I'm finally getting in the groove of doing this every day. Like it hurts less and I'm starting to enjoy it. I was lucky for that. A lot of people do not want to go to the gym every day. It's like my happy place. But yeah, so realize which person you are. And again, just don't focus on the negatives. Don't focus on how much pain you're in, how much pain you're going to be in the gym. Maybe you don't know what you're doing yet. Maybe it's kind of embarrassing for you to walk up in there. Focus on, like, picture yourself in 5 years. Like, oh, it's so difficult for me to walk up in jiu-jitsu because I'm embarrassed for the whole class.
Yeah.
But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about how good I'm going to be if I keep going.
So, sorry to interrupt, but you brought up a really good thing that I want to talk about. Like, so when you're new, right, and you want to go to the gym, and like, are you searching up on YouTube or hiring somebody else to show you the technique of the workouts and stuff? And like, what advice would you give like those newer people who, you know, are afraid or insecure about like doing the workout and they're gonna be looking funny doing it, you know? What do you say about that?
See, me, I would have loved to have had the funds to hire a trainer. But with me, I would just like download one of those little workout apps, type in pull up Google, shoulder or exercises for shoulders, exercises for quads. And, you know, sometimes you look dumb figuring it out, but one day you'll have it.
I remember doing that. I used to work out at a Lifetime here in Carville, and I used to go 6 days a week. The Sunday would be like hot tub, sauna, and stuff like that, cold pool. And that's what I did. I downloaded this app. I forgot what the name of it is. And they showed you like a 15-second video on how to do stuff. Because I didn't have no form, you know? And I would literally Google like leg workout or shoulder workout and bicep workout or chest workout on Google. And then I would go to the app and I would look at these little videos.
That's exactly what I did. How to do a bicep curl.
Yep. And I didn't want to, first of all, back then I didn't have the funds, like you said. I didn't have the funds to hire a coach. And then I was awkward. Even though I interacted with a lot of people, I'm still awkward in one-to-one contact, you know?
Story of my life, coach.
One-on-one contact. And then, you know, having somebody tell me what to do on top of that, you know? Because not everybody has that vibe or the vibe that you're looking for or clicking, you know? And so what kind of advice would you give people? You know, starting off, they don't have the funds. How would you tell them to approach it?
Exactly what we did. The internet is so vast, such a well of knowledge. It also helps. Me, it was my family, my older brother, kind of dragged me in there. It was probably like not very often, like I could do it maybe once a week. But just having that person there, that support, and like having somebody to say, no, you're not doing this right, or here's how we're going to structure our workout today. And that was me in like my very younger years. So I got a little bit of knowledge from that. The rest definitely was me like Googling stuff though.
Okay.
Did I even answer your initial question?
No, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. Do you have any advice, or does it even matter? Because, like, for me as a guy, you know, for guys in general, it's usually easier
Oh, yeah.
to go and just, hey, let's go to a gym and work out. But not all gyms have the same vibe. Not all gyms have the same rep or the level of respect. And not all gyms have a lot of ladies training. And so does it really matter as a female, you know, as a girl, as a lady, to train at a particular place? Or is there any things that you recommend to look for that's good for ladies to train? You know, what are some signs that you look for or things that you look for in a gym? This is the right place for me. Because that's what we see in today's society is ladies have a hard time being comfortable to be able to work out every day. Something happens, something is said, a vibe is given, a vibe in the atmosphere itself, and then they stop working out.
I will say 9 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 people, maybe even more than that. Most people in the gym are wholesome. They want to see other people succeed. They want to help you. But you still have to deal with that 10th person. But it's just like anywhere in life. I think as a woman, you should be aware and careful anywhere you are. In a gym, it's just different because of that male-dominated space. But just keep your eyes up, you know. And like, do whatever you need to help you feel comfortable. If you walk in the gym and you're like, this is not the place for me, change gyms. I know that's not viable for everyone, given like prices and whatnot, but I mean, I've lifted at home. I have had my fair share of like creeps. But just be safe, shrug it off.
Absolutely. I remember when I was like 14 and my brother went to a gym and he dragged me out there. And then like I felt kind of insecure with like so many people there, you know? Like you see so many, like you see jacked people. Like what if I have to fight these people? They got muscles, I don't have muscles. Or it's like just people that look like they know what they're doing, you know? It's like, did you feel like that when you first started? Did you feel kind of like a little nervous feeling like, dang, I'm gonna go in there to like a public setting and I don't know what to do, and like how did you overcome that feeling like of insecurity?
My strategy is just to power through it. Get comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling of kind of being embarrassed the whole time. You're gonna feel it, and you're also gonna get over it. And it's funny because usually the biggest dude in there, the most jacked, the guy who knows what he's doing, that's the guy that's gonna help you. That's like the nicest guy in there that's gonna show you the ropes.
So I had a hard time. Like I said, I worked out at Lifetime, and I recently put on what I say a lot of muscle for me, right? Everybody's a lot of muscle is different. Ben is over here laughing at me. I'm not a bodybuilder, okay? So I'm not trying to get to, when I work out, I try not to bulk, right? There's bulking and cutting, leaning out, whatever. Ben is over here laughing at me. But I don't have a lot of muscle compared to these guys that are meatheads, is what I call them. And not meatheads just in a bad way. It's just what I like to call them. They're in the gym 6-7 days a week, and they walk around like this. You know, they have short shorts and their quads are out. You know, and they're having these what are the shirts called? Where it's like big stringers. You know, and their lats are like this, and their chest is huge, and they got the big shaker bottle, and they're peacocking, right? Their head is up, and so I don't like that vibe, me personally, right? I feel like it's cocky, showing off, whatever. But it's a normal thing in lifting gyms, right? And so it was funny for me because as a guy, I thought I was confident, right? I fought MMA. I compete in jiu-jitsu. I train. I teach. I'm on the mats every day. I'm trying to sharpen my sword every day. And I would be in Lifetime, and I'm next to a guy, and he's bench pressing like 300-400 pounds, or leg pressing 500-600 pounds. And he's right next to me. And I'm on the bench with 2 dumbbells or 35 pounds each, you know? And so sometimes I remember feeling awkward. Now I don't care, right? That was when I was 18, 19, 20. And it would feel weird. But my thing was always like, this is just a jiu-jitsu side of me. I'm like, I would choke you out, bro. You know, like that was my mindset. Like you can peacock and puff your chest out, but those 350 pounds don't mean nothing. I'm sure you're strong, but I would choke you out. That was the way that I dealt with it, you know? But not everybody can deal with it that way, right? Because they are not trained in physical combat. And so they will probably take more of a mental toll, right? It will bother them more mentally because they will feel insecure. They won't be confident. And some people are like, and I've heard it so many times, I'm not going to go to the gym because these guys are lifting so much, you know? And you see this with girls. I didn't even know that with girls until one girl mentioned it. You know, like sometimes girls in the weight room are very cocky or very very, I don't know what's a word, very, not outgoing, but they have like a stern attitude, like, hey, I'm in the zone, I'm working out, or they're like almost like bullies, okay? And so what is your tip for the people that are getting into it? Like, how do you ignore that? How do you shut that out? Because everybody in the gym thinks that at one point or another, right? I'll be lifting 25 pounds on a bench press, and they got 250 pounds on a bench press, you know?
It's funny that you say that. See, I didn't have the option of thinking I could choke somebody out. But just put your blinders on. I don't care what the guy next to me is doing. If I'm looking at somebody, it's probably to steal their exercise, and that's it. Know that, and this is something I really don't like about being an influencer, is I have all these women who maybe haven't been lifting that long. Maybe I even like have better genetics, something like that, and they are comparing themselves to me. Like, they see my arms are pretty big for a woman, pretty strong, and they are like degrading themselves by looking at me. And I hate that. I wanted to inspire people. So that's just the best advice I have, is put your blinders on. Whatever the guy next to you is doing, that does not matter. Whatever he's lifting, it doesn't matter. You don't know anything about them. You don't know like their diet. You don't know how long they've been training. You don't know if they're injecting something, anything like that. And just focus on yourself. Know that every day you're getting better, and it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing.
Absolutely. Like, I can imagine, like, especially like if you're like overweight, or maybe you just have like image issues, you know, and like you feel insecure by yourself, and going in there and you feel like people are always watching you. Like, what I realize is like people really aren't even watching you, you know, like they're so busy with looking at their own selves and looking in the mirror that like they don't even have time to look at you. Yeah. Some people might look at you, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, even if you, or whatever shape you're in, like you're still out running, out lapping the you that's sitting in the couch, you know? But it's like, what would you say to people like that? That's like, because I feel like that's a big thing why people don't go to like gyms, public gyms, because they feel like insecure of they're being judged, or like you said, comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy. It's like, just, what do you say that? Like, put your blinders on. Like, don't ignore it. Like, what do you say that? Like, I feel, because I do feel like that's a big thing, especially for like ladies. You know, like they feel like they're gonna be judged at a gym.
I even still have that when I, like, say I'm doing a new exercise. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But it's exactly like you said. Most people, usually everybody, is focused on themselves. But there's two different types. The type of, like, you're focused on yourself, but that's, like, the negative part. Like, I'm so focused on myself, I think everybody's looking at me. But you have to remember, everybody's doing the same thing. Like, we all started somewhere, to be cliche. We all started somewhere. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, wow, they look so dumb right now, improving themselves. Like, having the courage to step up in here, what an idiot. Like, nobody thinks that about you.
Usually the jerks and the a-holes who do
Well,
that.
it's like the people who are already self-conscious.
Right.
Who are projecting and, like, want to make themselves feel better by bringing
Belittling.
somebody else down. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes back to one thing I learned as I was getting older, because at a certain point, it doesn't matter how mentally developed or how mentally strong or how sharp your mindset is or how sharp your sword is, everybody has or had some form of insecurity or confidence issues, right? And so we've talked about this on previous episodes, is doing things for approval, validation, right? And so as a society with iPhones and social media, we feel like we have to do things to earn the thumbs up from whoever that is, whether it's society or more likes on the social media or family or friends or people that are just around us, right? That's why some people buy all the nice cars and spend all the money on the purses and the shoes and the clothes like that, because we're in a society of validation, you know, of earning the respect of people. And we don't even know these people. Like, we want the validation of people and we don't even know them. So it goes back to the same thing, guys. It's like we have to be. Everybody has their own story. Everybody's on their own journey. You know, everybody starts, like you said, everybody started somewhere. Everybody started from the bottom. You know, somebody's gonna get off the couch and go to the gym, and that person might be lifting 5-pound dumbbells. Okay, and that's absolutely fine because they decided to get off the couch. You know, somebody decided to get off the couch and go do a jiu-jitsu class. You know, and a year later, not even a year later, they're 30 pounds lighter. You know, or somebody decided to get off the couch and come join our academy or whoever's jiu-jitsu academy, and all they were surrounded by was negative people. And now they're surrounded by very outgoing, positive people, healthy people. You know, so everybody has their own story. Everybody is on their own journey. So if we all think that way and think to let's rather help them than judge them, then I think we can go further as a society, you know, because it goes back to serving and helping each other. And so, yes, we all get in our heads because that's the society we live in. You know, even today sometimes, and today I don't care because like I said, I was just saying I'll choke you out. You know, that doesn't mean I can choke everybody out, but that's my mindset. And it's probably not a healthy mindset, right?
Well, it's like your comfort thought.
Yeah, you know, like, all right, you can do something, I'll choke you out. You know, it is what it is, you know? And Ben, like, what is your thought on that? Because you live the style of, what is it called? Not a powerlifter, bodybuilder. You live the style of a bodybuilder, and now you do jiu-jitsu. Because for me, jiu-jitsu has opened my eyes for many things, right? And the confidence and the validation part, jiu-jitsu has helped me with that. Because I feel like when you get more competent in your skills, in your hand-to-hand battle, then your confidence grows. So when your confidence grows, you realize that you don't need validation from anybody, you know? And so you coming from the bodybuilder life and the gym of lifting heavy, you lifted heavy at one point, you know, ego lifting, you know? How do you see the translation, or what do you see, or benefits do you have, tips for people that say, hey, somebody's watching me or somebody's judging me and lifting?
So my life as a bodybuilder is always about judging, because people are judging your body. You know, you get on stage and you get judged on how well you look, right? So we do get some form of body dysmorphia, right? It's like the confidence of yourself, and like your body is not good enough, even though your physique is like great, right? And then my transition towards like I hate working out, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody knows that already. I hate working out, but I still do it. I hate working out, but my passion is with jiu-jitsu, combat sports. And the two sports are totally, completely different, right? A lot of people have this misconception of the biggest guy in the gym know how to fight. False.
I agree.
False, right? Me having muscle does not mean that I know how to fight. And that can create this false idea for make myself delusional of having this confidence that I can handle myself in a fight. And I told you this before, right? I thought I had confidence, right? But now I started to realize, man, maybe I'm not as confident as I thought I am. Like I can't handle myself in a fight if I need to, right? So that's why when I transition into BJJ, the difference of like my training habits, I can't train how I train. I can't work out like a bodybuilder when I'm training jiu-jitsu, because the muscle that you use for bodybuilding and for jiu-jitsu is like totally completely different things, right? For bodybuilding, you want to train for size, right? And then for jiu-jitsu, you want to train for endurance, right? And you can't train endurance and also build size, right? So the confidence is totally different from doing BJJ compared to bodybuilding. And even if you're doing bodybuilding, it's your confidence. You're gonna have this body dysmorphia, and then you're never gonna be confident in your body ever again. I don't know why.
Really?
Yep. I look at myself in the mirror and I was like, I still don't look good.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why it's like that, and it's weird. I thought I don't have it, because my brother's like, be careful, you're gonna have this. Right, when I did it, I'm like, no, right, I already know I look good. But then when I look at myself, dang, this muscle could be better. This spot needs to be better.
You are comparing yourself to like the best of the best in like when you're doing shows though, or that's the idea.
That's true. I mean, if you want to be better at something, you also want to compare yourself positively. It makes me want to work harder when I do that. But
Yeah. That's interesting because, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, confidence is like a secret weapon if you know how to use it.
oh, it is.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand the power of confidence. But I always tell guys, and I have this specifically with men, right? It's easier for me to talk to men about this because it's man to man, right? For me to talk to ladies about this, it's a little bit harder because ladies' perspective, ladies' approach is completely different. You know, women feel and think a completely different way. And women usually, for the most part, lack, you know, some confidence. You know, they are very confident, but they still feel like they're a couple steps behind or feel like they need to do more or prove something, right? But I tell a lot of guys, like, man, you think you're confident. As men, we think we're born walking on this earth that we're automatically strong. You know, men walk the face of the earth. You see these guys, like I said, in the gym or a Kroger, wherever it is, peacocking, you know, and they think they're confident. But a lot of times they act that way because they're not confident, you know, and so they have fake confidence. And so in return, they don't get to accomplish as much as they think they can, or they don't get to take their abilities to the extreme because they don't have real confidence. But if you have true confidence, and for me, it came from just the day in and day out of grinding, working, and training jiu-jitsu for almost 10 years, you know, because my confidence came from me having the capability of executing a certain move on bigger guys or controlling and submitting bigger guys. That's where my confidence came from. You know, it's actually training with my hands. And so if people have real confidence, and Arnold Schwarzenegger said this, you know, he always told, like, I'm sure he said it for the camera or something, but he always believed in how he looked. You know, he gassed himself up.
Yeah.
And that's probably what one of his secret weapons was. Mm-hmm. Because he was his own super fan. You know, he's his own cheerleader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so if you have real confidence, you can get a lot of things done. You can hold yourself to a higher value for relationships. You can hold yourself higher value in careers, you know, and what you think you're worth. You can have the capability of talking to somebody and not being upset. You can have the confidence of dealing with a high intense situation and dealing with it correctly, you know, because you're confident in your abilities. And so I felt like, and I can see where you're coming from, right? In saying that you're always judging your body, because that's the whole point of that sport is.
Yeah.
But I felt like if you can gas yourself up, then your performance will go up.
But that's why, sorry to interrupt you, that's why you kept saying real confidence. One of my best strategies for me that worked the best was faking that confidence, and it made me feel better. I felt taller, almost like adopting this second skin of who do I wish I was. And then that fake confidence turns into the real confidence.
Being delusional, gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, so here we're about to go into another topic. I liked how you said that. So fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Okay? That's a real thing, by the way. That's a real thing. But I tell people this, fake it till you make it, but you have to, the till you make it part, right? Which means you have to be working. You can't just be faking it and being sitting on a couch. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm faking it till I make it. I'm going to be driving a Rolls Royce in 2 years. Yeah. And you're not doing nothing. Faking it till you make it is a real thing. You know, it's so real. Like, from the years when I started working and building my business, all I did was fake it. That's all I did. My goal was to become a black belt. You know, that's going to happen soon. All I did in that time period was act I try to train like a black belt. I try to teach like a black belt. I try to walk like a black belt. I try to talk like a black belt. Everything I did was trying to portray a black belt. For me, a black belt is a very respectful person, a strong human being, a very caring and serving person. That's what a black belt to me is. It's not somebody that is jacked up, muscle, has, necessarily the best jiu-jitsu in the world and has all the gold medals. That's not a black belt for me. The black belt to me is the one that gives back to the students. He's a strong person, but he's super nice and very respectful. But at the same time, he can put you out. He can choke you out. And so I remember when I had to talk with my coach, I was a blue belt, I think, and I said, hey, promise me that you are not allowed to quit until you give me my black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu. Because at that point I decided that I'm going to stay in this until I die. Not until I get my black belt, until I die, And ever since that, I started teaching kids right away after that. When I taught my kids, it was about a respect, it's about discipline, everything. And then that translated into opening my gym. So I started visualizing it. I started acting like I have a gym. I started writing the things about the gym down. I started looking at gyms. So I faked it till I made it. And then 5 years after that, I opened a gym. So fake it till you make it is a real thing, but you have to do work every single day, And so people say fake it till you make it, but you faked it till you make it, but you went hard in the gym 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. If you didn't do that, then you would have never got anywhere. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how much you want to lie to yourself. You would have not gotten anywhere. But since you went head first, you had to fake it till you made it, then you are where you are now.
Well, the faking was for that purpose. Like, since I didn't feel confident enough to get up and get in there, I created a person that would.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. Very cool. And I think now is going to be a pivot point for you because now you've dived into jiu-jitsu. Now, because I'm sure, right, that your ego gets hurt.
Oh, yeah. And I don't even have that big of an ego to begin with, and it's still, every single day, I'm nervous to come into training. Every day, I got butterflies and not like the good, excited butterflies, like the I'm about to puke type of butterflies sitting in my car.
Yeah. And the girls that you're getting humble about are usually smaller than you, right? Or about your size. Some of them are bigger and stronger.
Gerda, she's like a little angel in a monster's body.
Yeah.
And I'm strong. It does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. Getting humbled every day.
And so you're a confident person, but now I'm very interested to see you in a year, not even a year, 6 months. When you learn strong position and you learn a couple of submissions. That's it. You already have a good blast double. You know what I mean? I've seen that already, right? But I want to see how you are in 6 months because I think you're going to understand more of what I'm coming from about the real confidence part. Because I think you can't have real confidence until you're capable of doing something with your hands, right? Fighting, for me. It has to be fighting. It can't be anything else. I'm sure you can get confidence. Your confidence can get built from lifting weights and doing yoga and doing Pilates, doing something physical, right? That boosts everybody's confidence. But true confidence, for me, is the ability to control a fight or to take care of yourself and your family, going hands-on. Because what is our biggest fears? Is getting hurt, getting attacked, something happening, a fight. That's everybody's biggest fear, Just a couple of weeks ago, I thought I was finna go down. I was at work, and my heart is pounding, And I've been training forever, and this guy has not trained. I know he has not. But it's a human instinct. It's fight or flight, But I want to see you in 6 months.
Man, I want to see me in 6 months, too. I'm tired of this.
And I remember because I tell people the story of me training jiu-jitsu is I was 140 pounds back then. I'm 155 now, I had a 6-pack, maybe a 7-pack. I remember trying to count them. I was lean, and I was 18 years old when I started jiu-jitsu. I started jiu-jitsu because Coach Border made me. He didn't give me a choice. He made me do jiu-jitsu. I was training Muay Thai. I was training judo. But he made me do jiu-jitsu. And I didn't want to do it. And I'm finna mess this dude up. And he throws me down, gets me in side control, and I tap for pressure. I couldn't breathe. Get up. I'm like, I'm finna get him. That was a fluke. Does it again. You know? And that kept happening to me over and over and over again. And I was like, dude, I'm sick of this. I want to quit. I don't want to do this. Until I submitted somebody. And it was a big guy. You know? And then I'm like, this is magic. You know? This is the real thing. But the process of jiu-jitsu, it's like that all the time. It's like, man, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of getting beat. But in jiu-jitsu, it's never ending. There's somebody out there that's going to submit you. You know, there's times I'm like, man, I'm feeling really, really good. I'm feeling very, very sharp. I go to nationals. Ben and I go to nationals. I get submitted in 20 seconds. You know what I mean?
Don't hype yourself up. It's 10 seconds.
It was 10 seconds, you know? So that's the reality of jiu-jitsu. That's the reality of combat sports, right? That's the reality of fighting. It's there's no lying in it. And you will get humbled really quick. So I'm excited to see you in 6 months and knowing that you're physically strong and then you having a real set of tools to defend yourself and control people.
100%. And I feel like that's why like I've seen a lot of people from like the gym, from the fitness industry, like they come into the academy, and then obviously you're jacked, you look nice, right? You look good, you feel good, and then you're going in there and you're getting humbled, and then I feel like it's easier to just, you know what, let me just go back to the weights. The weights don't necessarily humble me. The weights don't necessarily make me feel insecure about myself, you know, like jiu-jitsu does, you know. Well, I'm sure if you throw up 225, which just happened to me the other day. So the other day, we've been talking about this. You got to bench 225 if you're a man, right? And then like, I'm gonna do it right now. And so we went over there. We put on the 245s. I didn't even warm up. I went in there and then I unracked it and then I brought it down to my chest. And then I can't.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, okay, that was a fluke. Then I went again. Then I went again to 225, and I couldn't do it. And then Mr. Scott, he's a tall guy. He's super strong. If you look at him, he doesn't necessarily look strong.
Yeah.
But Mr. Scott, he grabbed that 225, unracked it himself, and then just pumped it out. And then I was like, I felt bad about myself. Never mind, they can't
Get humble real quick.
There's only one guy at the table that does 225.
Who is that?
Me. No, but I mean, you get it's ego lifting, right? That's what you guys call it. And I ego lifted the first time I failed, and then I got in my feelings, and that's why we're in this cycle right now of trying to beat each other's weight. And then you get a guy like Mr. Scott comes off the mat, and he just picks up to 225, and I'm like, really? Like,
that was crazy.
all I was thinking was like, man, let's go roll real quick. You know. Chris, do you have any like guidelines that you try to hold yourself to while remaining in weightlifting? Guidelines or like principles that will kind of
Really just respecting yourself enough to set a goal and try to meet it. Along with like persistence and stubbornness. Like if I'm okay. If I'm bad
stubborn.
I'm bad at this. I don't like to be bad at things. I need to get good at it. Unfortunately, that means being bad at it for a while until, I mean, I guess it's your own definition of when you're good at something, good enough to make you confident and happy. But really, I don't really. Just hard work and get in there, improve yourself.
Well, for a woman in the fitness industry, right? There's a lot of misconception about like women looking like a man when they're lifting weights. Because like for you, you don't work out like a typical woman in the gym just working on legs, their lower half, right? You also incorporate upper body right? From looking at your page. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that whatever your goals are, that's fine. If you, and a lot of women, I guess like society has convinced us that, like, oh, I hear it all the time. I look like a dude. People tell me I look like a dude. People say women, it's two different sides of the scale, and they're both like similar but also opposite, where on one hand, people will say women can't grow muscle. She's on something because that's not possible for a woman. The other half is, I don't want to lift because I'll get bulky. When I tell you, you're not going to do it by accident. I had to torture myself for 5 years straight to get this body. But at the same time, whatever you want to do is fine. If you want to go in the gym and do legs every day, I don't care. If you want that aesthetic, if you, like me, I wanted to be strong, and that's what I'm going for. So that means doing upper body, doing the same exercises as guys. And I actually, because I heard that so many times, like women can't grow an upper body, I slammed it. Like I went so hard in my upper body, and when it started growing, I was like, whoa, I thought this couldn't happen. Everybody told me this wasn't possible.
But is it true that do women like working out like you will look like a man? Like would they build a physique that looked like a man?
Absolutely not. Like, I'll say it all depends on your perspective. Like, a lot of women probably think I look manly. But by no means am I good. Like, if we lift, or I guess a better example would be like my brother, like same genetic build. But if we were lifting at like the same intensity, the same frequency, he will grow faster than me. He will get bigger than me. And that's okay. It's just gender differences. It's how it is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it should be shamed.
For sure. So I think like society has built this image for women that women can't grow any muscle. It's false, dude. Like we're humans.
So
we all
false.
have muscle.
And people will say, it's even to the extent where people will tell you it's unhealthy. That woman with all that muscle, not healthy, when it's the exact opposite. Like, as a man, as a woman, lifting is the healthiest thing, assuming you do it safely and properly. Mm-hmm. It's the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. Like, even, like, osteoporosis, for example. They literally called it the woman killer disease. Osteoporosis is, it's like the thinning of your bones, I guess. Like your bones, like if you look on the inside of your bones, they kind of look like a sponge. Like mm-hmm. they got little pores in them. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is the circles, I guess, in your bones start getting bigger. You have more space in your bones. Nothing combats that better than weight training, than strengthening the muscles around those bones.
Mm-hmm. And I remember reading about this. I don't know how I came across this, but doesn't lifting weights because of tension and the stress, doesn't it calcify the bones?
Yeah.
It hardens the bones itself. Like I know the muscle and ligaments support it because they're getting stronger, but something with calcifying the bones when you're lifting because the stress that you're pushing, the tension that you have from all the weight.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's with not even just that, like heart disease and brain health, like mm-hmm. mental health, like so many benefits. I've
been working out a lot, and I don't think it's working for my brain.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either.
Something, this is you thing. I want to jump on that topic, right, is that this is a sensitive topic, and that's why we have you on here, right? I always like to get the input from ladies, because, like I said, ladies take it a different way when guys say it. But body shaming, trying to have validation, like we talked about, looking like a man, building muscle, and all this. Okay, so right now, some ladies come in, I'm like, okay, all right, but whether they're natural or not, I don't care, right? It's not me to judge them. I don't care. I'm not a judger. I don't care. Whatever it is. Some are very jacked, okay, but they may be in bodybuilding, they may be in whatever it is. So yeah, when you see them, you can't say, oh, like every lady's gonna be like that. Because if you go to a gym right now, how many do you see like that in a gym?
Yeah, usually I'm like the biggest woman.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of people like that, But every now and then, like I know a couple, but they're in bodybuilding, so they're jacked, But right now, I do see the fad like, hey, trying to prove a point, right? Trying to have a body standard, like the last few years, you've seen this thing, excuse my French, like, let's get thick, right? Girls want to go on this, I've seen it. Am I right or wrong?
No, it's true.
Like, hey, let's get thick and let's do all legs and glute workouts, And this is the biggest one that I've seen, right? I'm sure it's with chest or arms, but the biggest one I've seen is like all girls, is like the standard that they want to be thicker, right? Thick thighs and all of this stuff. And so they want to work out and do all of this, but they're not putting muscle on. Or it's whatever it is that they're trying to grow is not growing. And that kind of, it's almost like they had an unrealistic standard, body standard, And so, which in return gets them depressed or gets them mentally unhealthy or makes them quit training or they feel really, really bad about themselves. And sometimes they start talking about the other person, like, she's on steroids or she's genetics. Because here's the thing, guys. Yes, genetics has something to do with it, okay? But nutrition and hard work can cover up a lot of that stuff. That's my 2 cents on it. And so what would you say to those people that, how do you promote that healthy lifestyle and then having realistic goals instead of having unrealistic goals and going on this thing like, hey, let's all get thicker, but it's not working in 8 weeks. Let's do this 8-week program. I'm going to have thicker thighs. Or I'm on biceps, and the biceps are not coming. Like I would probably say I'm not a, scientist, but it's probably a little bit harder for girls to put on muscle.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have to know that up front. It's harder for you guys to put on muscle, and in some cases, it's harder for you guys to lose weight. Some girls have an easy time losing weight, right? But it's harder for you guys to put on muscle. And so you have to kind of accept that up front and set a realistic goal. Now, some people like you, some people like Ben, Giovanni, we have unrealistic goals for ourselves. And that's the way we thrive. That's the way we sharpen our sword, is we like to just dive off the deep end, But not everybody can live that lifestyle. Not everybody has the mental capacity to keep that going, And I feel like, and this is for me as a coach, right? Like I said, a lot of ladies come and talk to me about this. Specifically, ladies have a very hard time with this. They struggle a very hard time being in the fitness or getting into fitness because of body shaming from other people or from themselves, because they're looking at the number or they're looking at all these Instagram fitness influencers, some of these fitness influencers are posting, and not all of them are the same. I've seen your page, very respectful page. But some are posting, like I said, the thick thighs and all this. And they're posting, it's bicep day, and they're taking a picture of their butt.
How's my bicep?
Like, it's bicep day, and all you see is just her butt. It's like, and so, like, I want to be like her. And, like, you have all these younger girls, that's all they're doing. And so I've heard this firsthand. Like, I want to be like that, Some of those girls gained that pretty quick, right? And some of those girls have been working on it for, 2 years. But now they just recently got famous in their influencer page. And now it's everything they're showing is that.
That's a big problem I have with just being on the internet. I kind of mentioned this, but like young girls comparing themselves to me, they don't think about how I started. They are seeing my results. And even just them saying like, ooh, I want to be like this. How do I be like this? And then other people coming into my comments and telling them, you can't be like this without steroids. And that's what they think. And I think that's just so sad that now that girl thinks she'll never be like me. Like, no amount of hard work will work unless she takes something. Or like, even just the comparison baseline. Like, in my opinion, I'm doing well because I have an above average physique. Like, I have something that other people want. And you have to remember that the popular, like, influencers or whatever you want to say, they're popular because they have that. But since they're popular, that's all these girls are seeing on their page. Like, they're scrolling and seeing these jacked women, and they think that that's, like, the norm because they see it so much. And like Gio said, like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, not even using myself as an example, my brother started lifting with like a group of 3 friends. So his 2 friends started before him, and they're like benching. They start with maybe 95 on the bar, 225s, and they work their way up to 135 after weeks, and they work their way up to whatever. And then my brother steps in the gym. After like a few days, he's where they're at in like weeks. And see, that's when I think genetics steps in. Like, we have this one friend who, bless him, but he was a beanpole. Like, he was so skinny, so difficult for him to put on weight. He knows this. He tried everything. Like, the boy would eat all day long, eat and eat and eat, and he just could not grow. Where my brother could sneeze on a dumbbell and like grow some extra muscle fibers. So everybody's different.
How do you say, like, you balance that? Like, what would be the biggest tip for those girls? Because, like, the truth is, because, like, if we say we don't see it, we're all lying, okay? We are all lying. And we were talking about this at breakfast this morning, right? One of our friends brought it up, and he was like, the girls on TikTok and fitness influencers on TikTok. And the physique is whatever it is, But all you see with these girls, first of all, because their accounts are not big enough, so you don't see normal girls working out starting from day one, right? But all these influencers, it's the same thing. It's leggings, very tight leggings. It shows everything, and you see that across the board. And when you see the guy influencers, we can talk about the guys. Same thing. I say thirst trapping, right? They're thirst trapping, right? You see all of this, and that's all we see. Mm-hmm. We see these fantastic physiques, and fantastic physiques is whatever your standard is, It can be 20% body fat, it can be 5% body fat, whatever you consider that. It can be thick thighs, it can be no thighs, it can be big chest, big arms, whatever it is that you want, whatever you set your standard to be. But what would your tip be for these girls that are starting off, that want to get into fitness? Like, I know you've talked to a few girls recently, and they want to start working out, but to keep them on the straight path. And like, hey, don't worry about these girls that are showing their body in this way, or showing and making you believe this is how you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And this is the standard, or you don't work out. Like, what would it be? Because we talked about tilting the scale, right? We like to tilt the scale. If I'm not tilting the scale, I feel like I'm not living the life, me personally. I feel like I have to tilt the scale for me to feel alive, And so, like, if I want to start lifting, I'm lifting. That's how I do it. I don't care what anybody's doing. I'm going to lift, and I'm going to try to push my numbers, What would your tip be for these girls? Because you can't tilt the scale unless they have a mindset like yours, which is, I'm not good at this, so I'm going to keep getting after it until I get good. Not everybody has that mindset. Not everybody has that mental capacity. Because all they're going to see is these girls every day on Instagram, on TikTok, showing their physique and thinking that's the norm. But that is, unfortunately, is not the norm. Mm-mm. Because how many girls do we see in Kroger or Walmart or Target that look like those Instagram influencers?
Even like when I tell you, to most people, in my opinion, are gonna, like, they lift to be healthy. Like, you're gonna pop into the gym after work, maybe do some cardio, maybe lift a little bit of weights. Mm-hmm. I did not train with that intent. Like, I wanted to be strong. So I'm in the gym 6 days a week. For a lot of people, that's not viable, and that's fine. Like, for quite a minute, my life was waking up at 5:30, work at 6:30, 12-hour shift on paper, but usually we're working until like 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Get off work, go straight to the gym, change at the gym, lift for 2 hours, so it's 10 p.m., 10:30, go home, eat dinner at 11 o'clock, take a shower, go straight to bed, do it all over again. And for a lot of people, that's just not viable, and that's okay. And just there's not really a magic answer other than, like, just remember that wherever you are is fine, and don't compare yourself to other people because you don't know what they've been through, you don't know their story, and just focus on yourself. There's no really magic answer. I would say you need to just be mentally strong and try to build up to that.
100%. You know, I think one of the biggest things that, especially like young ladies and young men working out, like, I think, like, you need to work out and do all these things for yourself, you know, because you love yourself, not necessarily because, and I see this a lot in the young women. It's like they see these beautiful women on social media, and some of them are edited, right? Some of them aren't real. Some of them got some plastic going on. I guess they're real Barbie, you know what I'm saying? But regardless the thing is, like, you got to do it for yourself, you know? And I feel like a lot of people get depressed because they don't look like that, you know? Or the reason why they're doing it is because I have to, like, live up to the standard, or I have to look like this, or if I don't got a thick thighs, then I'm not attractive to men, you know? And I think you're attractive for who you are, you know? Sure, you working out makes you beautiful, but because of your mindset, not necessarily because of the looks, right? Obviously, looks playing a part of it. We're human beings. But I think that's the biggest thing. Like, people should work out, like, because you want to do it, because you love yourself, because you want to be a better you, not necessarily because I want to throw it up on Instagram, thirst trapping, and now everybody commenting on how I got Popeye forearms, you know? But I think I just want to say that, you know? Because I've been in that trap before, like, where I want to do it to validate people, and, like, I've been in the gym, like, wait till my ex sees me shirtless on my Instagram post, and she gonna regret it, and, you know? And then that's dumb, you know? That's not a good reason. You got to do it because you genuinely love yourself and you want to be better.
It sure does help, you know what I mean? Like,
But I think that if you're doing something purely out of other people's validation, you're gonna be unhappy.
Man, you spitting fire now, Chris.
I mean, this was what you guys talked about last podcast, right? Talking
Yeah.
about doing it for the right reason.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So,
What you said right there is, you want to add anything else to that before I go in?
No, I was just gonna say maybe I just yoinked that from your podcast. That's why it's in my brain.
I talk about this so much. Like, I tell people this all the time. And it's hard. I'm not gonna say this came overnight. There was a point in my life where I did things for validation, where I did things to get somebody's approval, and for me, thank God, I did that at a young age, and I realized it at a young age. So a lot of adults go until their 30s, 40s, 50s, still doing that, doing it for somebody else. And the thing is, when you don't do it for yourself and you do it for somebody else, you will never be happy until the day you die. You will die being unhappy. Okay? And so I'm happy that I realized that at a young age. Now, okay, this is business. Let's switch over a little bit to business. Now I have to do things a certain way and talk things a certain way because I have to get something in return. That's the life of a businessman, okay? Now, I'm not talking about unethically. I'm not talking about in a malice way. I will not do anything for money that's unethical or not respectful or that's not healthy. Doesn't matter how much money's on the line. Me personally, I won't do it. But some days you have to act a certain way or talk a certain way for that particular agreement. This is what every businessman knows, okay? Every businesswoman. This is just part of it, okay? We're back, guys. Apologize, something came up. Like I was saying, in business, sometimes you have to do things to to come to an agreement to make the deal happen. But I don't think it should be unethical or selling your soul or selling your principles for money. Okay, but at this point in my life, I don't care what your opinion is. I'm not gonna do something for your validation where I'm at now. I honest to God don't care what you got to say. I'm happy that I'm at this point, you know. Ever since I got to this point, I've been so happy, you know. And I don't like saying that on live or posting about it. People say, "Hey, I'm so happy." A lot of people are not happy when they say that, in my opinion. That's why I don't like posting about it. But when I realized that and I let go of, you know, not being 6'2", right? Every guy's like, I want to be 6 foot, 6'2". I'm 5'8". Okay, I'm not 175 pounds of muscle. I'm 155 pounds. Whatever it is, I don't have blue eyes. You know, like I don't care. You know, and I think everybody, if they start believing in themselves, and for me, like I said, it came from having to earn everything at a younger age. And jiu-jitsu, you know, the hard life, that teaches you all that. You know, confidence comes from doing hard things every day. Ever since that's happened, I've been so happy. And so for those guys that are doing things or those girls that are doing things for approval, then you're going to be stuck in this cycle every single day. You know, some days will be better, but guess what? You'll find yourself back in this cycle. You know, I've known people and they're like, I'm so fat. I'm so fat. And this person is not fat. That's the crazy thing about it. They're not fat. You know, they're getting on a scale of day, and I'd tell them. But like I said, coming from a guy, and then I'm 155 pounds, and I have some muscle, right? So I'm in shape. Coming from me, like, well, you look at you, you're in shape, you know? What would you tell that person? Like, hey, get out of your head, because that's what I said. Like, at one point, it just got to the point where I'm like, hey, dude, just shut up, get out of your head, you know what I mean? And forget what the scale says. It's about how you feel. Do you feel healthy? Do you feel good? Yes, that's all that matters. Don't look at this girl. Don't look at this girl. You know, this is going to be corny, right? Everybody is beautiful in their own way. Me, I truly believe that, you know. It's people don't like to, you know, kind of feel vulnerable saying that kind of stuff. But I truly believe if you're a good person now, if you're a bad person, you're ugly to me. You know, if you're cocky, you're ugly to me. You are not attractive at all. But if you're a good person, you know, and good person is, you know, serving people and doing good things and being respectful and being modest and doing all this, then you are beautiful in your own way. Everybody is. And so people have to accept that and believe that and forget the TikTok, forget the Instagram, forget all of this. You know, because working out at the end of the day is not for anybody's approval. And that's the thing that I see in our society is I want to work out so I can get more girls. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, what they say is biceps, the curls are for the girls. You know what I'm saying? I did do curls today, but it was just me 5 a.m. in the gym by myself.
But it wasn't for the girls.
It wasn't for the girls. I don't wear short sleeve hardly ever.
He saw me walking up, so he started picking up the curls.
I had to try to impress Ben. I saw him, let me grab you real quick. Let me get this pump real quick.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people do it so they can, you know, attract the girls, or the girls do it to attract the guys. You know, working out is not for that. Working out is for mental and physical health. It's for sharpening your sword physically and mentally, you know? And how would you, I know, like, I can see where your mindset is now. I'm starting to understand it even more having you on this podcast. Not everybody has your mindset. Not everybody has my mindset. Like, the guys in this room have a different mindset than most of the people that we know, right? We have a mindset of things need to get done, we're going to do it. There is no, I'm in my feelings today. Like, if I have to work out, I got to work out. Not everybody has that mindset. So you're talking to these girls that are starting new. How do you get them to shift that mindset?
Have you ever seen, I guess it's like a meme, like a flowchart meme, where it says, you have a problem. Yes, I have a problem. Can something be done about it? Yes, do it. No, leave it alone. Stop thinking about it. So like, my answers are always so like,
Just do it.
yeah.
Quit
like,
being a fat kid at Kmart.
Make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's the bad news is I have no like magic answer for people. They always want to hear like my wisdom and you know whatever, but I don't have it. I think that if you want something, you need to just get after it, ignore the distractions around you, and just go for it. Because whatever you want is what's important.
Right.
That was like the lamest answer ever, but it's true.
No, that was a good answer, honestly.
You said something that really sparked an idea. So you talk about how you didn't want to do things or do business for money, right? And this can tie off to you, right? How? Because this is why I respect you so much, right? Because for fitness influence, right, as a woman, right, there's a stigma going around. As a female fitness influencer, you have to show your butt to be successful in that industry. But when you watch your page, right, you're so modest and your content is completely different, and you're doing so well in that version of content you're putting out. What makes you want to do that? What makes you want to be that different person? Like different fitness influencers that want to do, that doesn't want to follow the trend. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't even say it was for the media. You know, I was already doing that, and when I'm posting, I'm just posting me. I didn't like change to be modest for the camera. I just was. And that's just not me. I don't care if it's still hard work if you're, training legs every day that you want to show off. That's fine with me. It's just not what I want for myself. Like you see me in sweats and a hoodie every day. That was just already my mindset, already my style.
So you don't think that you need to show off your sexualize your body to be successful in that industry? You can do it in your own way.
Yeah, and I could totally see, like, if I were to, I don't even want to know what you two are.
I got something good for this one.
If I lost my train of thought because I saw you two clowns.
No, but yeah, about how you don't need to sexualize yourself to be successful. Because I feel like that is a big thing. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what pops more on my feed. You know, I'm like, get this out of my face. And it still pops up on my phone. My God.
Listen, your feed on Instagram is made out of what you watch the most.
No. They hacking into
Right
my
or
feed.
wrong? Is most of it?
They hacking into my feed. But
You just threw yourself under the bus on that one.
That's the stigma, right? That you gotta be like attractive for all these thirsty men, right? And obviously you're not doing that.
Man, who has it all over his Instagram?
Let me tell you something. I know somebody, I seen them and they already like that pic. They beat me to the punch.
Who?
I ain't gonna say.
It ain't me.
I ain't gonna know. I'm not you. It's
not you.
I know who it is.
But yes, what do you say about that, Chris? How you don't need to be sexualized? I'm not gonna lie. That's who really be popular. Like the women that showing their body.
It really is. I mean, if you want more views, by all means. Because, no, it does work. I'm just not that. And I think I was lucky to put out content and to get viewers. You need to have something that people like. So, like, if I was a woman and I'm like flexing an upper body that I don't have, nobody really wants to watch that. So I need to have either like, maybe you're funny, maybe you have a personality, maybe you're smart, maybe like your workouts are really good, or maybe you got a fatty, respectfully.
She said that. It came from you.
Disclaimer.
But yeah, you do need to have something that people like. And I guess I'm lucky enough to have that build that people want to watch.
Right. So, the question that Ben asked you, okay? And like I said, I don't judge nobody, right? I really don't. Some people take it as like it's judging. Hey, if that's you, that's you. I don't care. That's fine. So I have respect for the people like you, right? Because these days, everybody's sexualized. I mean, mostly women, okay? But everybody's being sexualized. You know, you see that from a young age these days. It's a normal thing. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts to see that in our society, because that's going to be the downfall of our society, you know? But that goes back for what I said earlier, is doing things for money, right? Is what are you willing to do for money? I know I can do a lot of things for money, and I can make a lot of money. I know you can do a lot of things for money, and you can make a lot of money. But are we willing to break our principles and morals for that? You know? So some people look at it as, okay, I have 1 million followers. I'm making X amount of dollars from Instagram, X amount of dollars from TikTok, YouTube, but my body's out there. Okay, now if you ask me, like people call me, Gio calls me a 40-year-old man in a 20-year-old body, whatever his saying is. I'm an old soul. I know that, right? So for me, okay, you might see it as you are valuable in one way because you're bringing in 6 digits, right? I've heard of some girls, like you see the stats and stuff on like the internet, bring in 6 digits from selling like pictures and stuff. A month. I'm not talking about a year. A month.
OF.
Yeah, OF, you know? And so you may think like you're super valuable for doing that. Like, hey, they all say, it's funny because they all say I'm the top 0.1%. Bro, OF tells you that just so you can keep doing what you're doing. You know? You know? But for me, like, you may think you're valuable in that aspect, and this is going to sound bad. But are you valuable as a wife? You know what I'm saying? Are you valuable as a mother to some kids? You know what I'm saying? Because what are you going to teach your kids? What are your kids going to see? What are their teachers going to see? What are their friends going to see?
But see, now your values are bleeding into what you think other people's values should be. Like, maybe they don't care about that. Maybe they don't want to have kids. Maybe they don't want to be a wife.
And that's why I said me. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's where people automatically get into that, because they will say like, hey, that's the answer I get. Like, you're judging me, or, hey, maybe I don't want this. But like I said, for me, I respect the people that are like you, because you're not willing to waver to see that, right? And this is my opinion on it, right? Like,
no, 100%, because if I'm being honest, right, like a lot of people who do OF or like that produce content in that source of way, they wonder why they don't have that men that stay in their life.
I was just about to go there.
You know, this is totally a different topic, but just to
no, we're going to that topic.
Just so, like they wonder why they're not getting that man that stays in their life. And you know, like if you're like me personally with my values and principle, if you're like doing that content, I personally wouldn't be comfortable with it, right? Like, I mean, I'll be like, okay, do you, but at some point that you may cross that line or boundaries that doesn't align with my values and principles. So and you know, I may not stay in your life, or you stay in mine.
So that's exactly where I was. He's just talking hypothetically. So that's exactly where I was gonna go. Okay, and like I said, not many people are gonna like this. I know Gio's gonna chime in on this. So he's already grinning. But like, for me, okay, this is me. I'm not talking about nobody else. This is me. For me to look at you as value, okay, and for me to be value to you, right? I can't be available to everybody. Okay, so you sharing your body and your, well, what else would you call it? You know, there's a word that can. It's not
like
your
the physique.
Your physique, your can't think of the word. Your soul, you know, that should be precious in my opinion. You know what I mean? Your body should be precious, and more importantly for ladies, I think that should be more precious, and you should take care of it more and respect it more. And so if I see you not being necessarily you, like you as this female, and she's all over the internet, I don't look at her as value. She's available to every single guy. She's getting the most disrespectful pictures. She's getting the most disrespectful comments, slurs. She's getting, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are disrespectful. A lot of these guys are boys, right? She gets slurs in public, right? She gets catcalled in public. And then some girls are like, I don't know why I'm getting catcalled. Well, your butt is all out. I'm not saying it's right. Okay? Two wrongs don't make a right. Okay? That guy is a piece of crap. But in the same thing, I'm not going to be walking with a girl, especially at this point in my life. I won't be walking with a girl that showing her whole body for everybody. Okay? I'm a businessman. I'm a kids coach. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. So for me, I don't see you as valuable. Do you bring money and some people think that's value? Yeah. But for me, you're not valuable, right? And so I have respect for the people that cover up and the people that respect their body and their soul, right? Because if you do that, then you hold yourself to a higher standard. Automatically, you hold yourself to a higher standard because you see yourself as of more value. So if you see something as a value, what do? You usually protect it. You usually cover it. Nobody that sees, you don't see a lot of people just walking around with $1 million in a tray. They have to cover it because if they don't cover it, what are people going to do? They're going to try to take it. You know what I'm saying? And so what we see in society now, because that's a normal thing, is you don't see relationships going a very long time. And these girls are saying, I want a strong man. I want a respectful man. I want a religious man. I want a man of faith. I want a man to be the father of my kids. I want this, this, and this. I want a man with a career. I want a professional, right? You think that man is looking for you?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? This is just me, right? Do you think that guy is going to look at you when you're showing your whole body for money to the whole world? No, he's not. Because he's trying to have the actions of a man and you have the actions of a girl. Okay? Now, like I said, for anybody that sees this and I'm not judging you, this is just my 2 cents on this. Okay? And so what this girl does, she sees another guy that's attracted to it, but this guy's principles and morals are not all this high. So they get together, they have their fun, one thing leads to the next, they break up, next one. And it's going to be a system on repeat.
Thank you, next.
You know what I mean? So it's a repetitive thing that you see in our society now. And people were wondering why we don't have relationships that last, or why we don't have marriages. Like we talked about this before. Divorce rate is over 60% now.
Dang, really?
Yes.
Crazy.
You know, some people say they quit counting after 60% because they don't want to make it even worse for the people talking about it. You know? But what does that tell you? We should pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Because now nobody has the principles of a family. Nobody wants the principles of family. Nobody wants to settle down. Everybody wants to be a free spirit and do whatever they want. And people don't want to respect themselves. I'm not saying this is only for ladies. I'm saying this for men as well. You shouldn't be out there showing everything. Okay? You should be carrying yourself a certain way. You shouldn't sell your soul for money. Okay? And I think this will help us in the long run. I know we kind of came off the influencer thing, but that's what we're seeing these days. Why are people not working? Because they can go sell pictures online. I was talking to somebody about somebody said that joked around, I'm going to sell feed pictures. I'm not going to show my face, but I'm going to sell feed pictures. You crazy. You know?
It's probably been.
That's crazy.
But like everybody's saying that because it's easy.
Yep.
But like, why are you going to sell your body for money, bro? Like, why?
100%. If you got a higher standard, like you're not gonna. That's literally just selling yourself, you know. And my opinion, like, I'm worth more than pictures. I'm worth more than some strange dude in his mom's basement sending me money, you know.
So go ahead.
That's very weird, you know.
So a question for you, Mo. So you view it selling your body is as like it's bad, right? In your opinion. What's the difference of selling your body versus selling your skills?
It's easy. There's a big difference.
How?
And skills as in what? Like jiu-jitsu?
Well, like in general, like you're a mechanic, you know, you're a doctor, and
I think that's different because my body is my body. Look what I'm wearing. Okay. Yes, I wear short sleeve shirts. Okay, but I hardly wear tank tops. I do that to work out. This is me, right? You wear tank tops. I'm not judging you. I try not to wear short shorts. In grappling, sometimes I wear short shorts or Muay Thai.
5-inch, 4-inch shorts.
You know, but I try to wear spats under it, you know. But your body is a precious thing, man. Like, it sounds crazy. Like, you know, it's like Coach Moses turned into the spiritual guy. But the human body is very precious, okay? The human body is very precious, and it belongs. It's your body, right? But it's for you and your significant other, your husband and your wife. Nobody else, okay? And so that's the difference, okay? Otherwise, we will be like monkeys in the jungle, which at this point we pretty much are as a society, right? These monkeys are just jumping on other monkeys. You just go take out the chimpanzee. Why you make me laugh? But like literally, these monkeys are literally doing that, right? I can just go beat up this monkey and take his girl.
Yep.
And in reality, and here's the thing, in reality, in primal instincts, you can do that these days, right? The stronger man wins. The better man wins. How many girls have left guys for a better guy? Or how many guys have left girls for a better woman? Yeah, it's more civilized these days, okay? But if we don't do that and respect ourselves, our soul, then we're already there. And this is my opinion. We're already getting there, okay? We'll be in a situation where kids have barely any clothes on, and that's where we are today. You know, forget the adults, right? Adults, you see that they're wearing. It's normal to wear a G-string on a beach these days, which doesn't make sense to me. You know, but your skills is not. Your skills are precious, right? But skills is not like I'm selling my body, my soul. It's selling my abilities, okay? Now, if my abilities are unethical, okay? If you want to go like OnlyFans, if you want to go into the porn industry, right? In my opinion, that's unethical for money, okay? And so that's different than me being a jiu-jitsu coach. I'm selling the skills because one of my skills are helping people. I'm not, you know, whatever illegal you want to put in. I'm not going to name anything specific. I'm good at something illegal, and I teach everybody that. That's not ethical. Okay?
So let me add this, right? Let's tie it back to fitness influencer. For example, bodybuilding. They sell their body pictures, and they also influence people, save people from certain, being mentally depressed, stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on that?
So that's a good question. And my thoughts on it, like, I'm not going to be the one to say you can't do that, right? Are you showing your body? Yes. But do you want, let's say you, I'm not going to imagine that you're not dating Chris. Do you want your wife in a thong as a bodybuilder on stage?
Even that's the reason why I didn't want to compete. I was like, I'm not getting up in there in a bikini.
Yeah, and I respect that, but I don't want to put that image of you even out there, right? Let's just talk about this girl over here. Would you marry this girl and she's on stage? You personally, I'm not saying it's wrong. I won't do it because I'm not going to show my body to people. Do I appreciate the aspect that you are saving lives because you're helping with mental health?
Yeah.
Yes, I respect you for that part, but it's not the same in one aspect that you're selling your pictures on OnlyFans to dudes sitting on the couch at home?
So, you put me on the spot. So as a bodybuilder, competing in the sport, I have so my values and principles exceed to that point of being comfortable of me doing that. So if I'm comfortable of doing that, I'm allowing my significant other, if she's in the same sport as me.
Just
right?
answer the question.
I would be.
Would you allow your wife to be occasionally on stage in a thong?
If I don't allow it, it would be hypocritical for me.
I'm not saying you, but you're done with bodybuilding.
I am, but
I'm asking you at this point of your life. At this point of your life, your wife is gonna get on a stage in front of thousands of people in a thong.
I wouldn't say a thong.
It's a thong.
Oh, he's skirting around.
See, he's trying. I know what his answer is. He's trying to find a way not to answer it. I'm saying a thong and a bikini.
If she wants to,
no, I'm not saying if she wants to. I'm asking, will you marry a woman that occasionally does this and posts it all over her Instagram and Facebook, and all dudes are doing are commenting slurs to her stuff and sharing it and doing all this with it, and all she does is that. I'm asking, will you marry this woman, Ben? That's a simple question.
yes.
You ask me this, if you ask me this, I say no.
You said yes.
I say no. Gia, what do you say?
I say no, guys. And I want to say this, right? I want to give you this analogy. Well, a lot of people, because I've talked to a lot of people, right? I've had discussions, you know.
He just hit the old man pose.
No, but about this, right? And they're like, I'm not doing it for myself. You know, I mean, I am doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for nobody else. I'm not doing it for men to look at me and catcall me, right? But this situation, guys, right? Yes, I get it. I get that. I understand the argument. But it's a thing, though, right? Bodies are precious, like you said, and it's sacred. So
Sacred. That's the word I was looking for.
if you think about it, it's like, what are some of the most precious things here on earth? Gold, diamonds, pearls. Gold, you got to dig underneath. It's surrounded by earth. Diamonds, the same way. A pearl, you got to go to the deep ocean, and it's covered under an oyster. So you see this, everything precious is covered. It's not just out there for everyone to look and see and imagine, you know? So that's what the biggest thing, precious things are covered.
Oh, wait, you spitting fire.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Okay, what about this? What if your
No,
body...
answer your question
No,
first.
I already answered.
No, you didn't answer. Why are you going around? You see how he's trying to ignore the question? Are you going to marry this girl or not?
I already answered.
Yes or no?
Voila, I answered.
No, don't do that. Yes or no?
I said yes.
Say it with
Cross my
confidence.
finger.
See, he's over here being a hypocrite.
I said I would, because I'm a bodybuilder, right?
You were a bodybuilder.
Yes, but still, I
So
participated.
you would marry a girl right now who walks on stage occasionally.
If I was into that sport, yes.
No, so you keep going around there. I'm saying.
I say if I was into
I'm
that
not
sport.
saying if you were into it. I'm saying right now, right here. as
Okay,
we
right
sit.
now as we speak, I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. No.
Oh my, that's what.
That's it. That's
You got your ass on stage in a thong.
That's why he didn't want to answer it.
I look good, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, so
About
man,
time you answered the question.
I said yes. What was I gonna say? Okay, you guys say that you guys put a lot of emphasis on your body being sacred and precious, right? What if your soul, your heart is precious and your body is covering that?
He's so corny. At the end of the day, it's the same thing, right? Because here's the thing. This is the truth, right? Everybody, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a saint, right? Everybody has made a mistake at one point of their life, right? And it may not be called a mistake. Whatever you call it a sin. Everybody has made a wrong decision at one point in their life, okay? There's people that have had made wrong decisions at some point of their life. Does that mean they're a bad person? No, it does not mean that. They were probably, this person, let's say a guy, we're not going to say a girl. We're going to say this guy showed his body and did all these things at a young age, okay? Fast forward five years, this guy's a completely different guy. does that mean he's a piece of crap? Does that mean he has no value? No, that does not mean that. You know what I mean? But if you keep doing it, then yes, you have no value. You are of, I'm not saying no value. That's a little harsh. You're not going to be of high value in my eyes.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
You and your wife go on the beach. Would you let her wear bikini?
I don't know. It's a norm in society these days. Right?
Normal, so
Depends.
That would a yes, right? Or a onesie.
No, I don't know. It would have to be a conversation that whatever she's comfortable with, right? I would hope that the lady that I marry feels the same about her body. And you see that these days is the ones that feel that way about their body, they cover their body up as much as possible on the beach. But here's the thing. For me, it depends, right? Because from my culture, women cover up their body. Okay? And women refuse to, even if they go to the beach. Like some people will be like, hey, I mean, everybody's probably seen a Muslim lady at the beach. She's dressed up and she's still at the beach. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Asian ladies at the beach, same thing. You know, people that are very cultural or traditional, you've seen this. And people look at them like they're crazy. To each his own, right? So it's hard for me to answer this question. I'll answer it off the podcast.
You made me answer it.
No, I answered the question. I said it would be
Okay.
it would have to be a whatever. I would hope that she's comfortable. She sees her body as a value to cover it up. That's my answer. Now,
Are you gonna take your shirt off at the beach?
so let me answer that. So there's times I've done it. There's times I haven't done it. That's my answer. I'm gonna leave it right there. There's times I've done it. There's times I haven't done it. I've worn a rash guard, right, or a swim shirt, right. And if that's what, like I said, this is probably a double standard saying men are not as valuable as women, right? Because you should still value your body. Even as a man, I shouldn't show it to everybody. But it's not seen the same as if a man has shirtless and a woman is shirtless.
I agree.
It's not the same thing. Now, people are going to say that's a double standard.
But it is. But it's okay that it is because that's just how it is.
Yeah. But I think, like, if men had titties, right, then it wouldn't be okay, right? But we don't. And some people are going to say you pretty much do, right? But, hey, it goes back to the same. It comes back to you're in a relationship. What does your significant other feel comfortable with? That's what it goes back to, right? In our culture, right, like I said, the women are usually covered up, okay? Sometimes those women don't care if you're on the beach without a shirt, and sometimes they tell you, hey, you need to wear a shirt. You know, it depends on that person at the end of the day. Now, for me, I don't wear a shirt at the beach. I've said I've done it before.
100%. And I think there has to be that communication between couples. Is like what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, because sometimes you'll communicate your feelings and they'll hit you with the "you not my daddy" to tell me what to do, and you just left.
I love that part.
You just left speechless in that. But
you talking from experience?
Flabbergasted.
hypothetically, if that was to happen.
Hypothetically.
So you see it all the time. It's like couples try to set boundaries and things, and like I don't appreciate this, and then they're like, "You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I got my own job and this and that and that and that and this," and then divorce rate at 60%.
With that mindset, I feel like that's why our relationship is not working as well.
Why?
Because of like, you're not my dad, or you can't tell me what to do.
100%.
Well,
You
of
know what I
course,
mean?
yeah.
Like-
Because she's valuing what society thinks over what her significant other that's gonna be with her, that's gonna be the father of her kids' opinion or his principles, right? So everybody needs to have these principles, and I have my principles these days. I know exactly what I want, and I refuse to break them for anybody. You know, so you have to lay down your principles, and unfortunately, these days, both sides, ladies and guys, they get emotional. It's an emotional reaction first before anything. Right? So when you get an emotional reaction first, then sometimes you ignore your principles, which is hard. But for me, the first thing I look at is principles. Do you follow these principles? If you follow these principles, then let's move forward. If not, I don't care how good you look. I don't care what you do. If we can't follow these principles, then get away from me. And that's why you go to the point where you ain't my daddy. So, like, people don't date for marriage these days. People date for fun. That's what these days are. You don't see many people date for marriage these days. 20 years ago, people dated for marriage. These days, you don't see that. People date for fun, then they think about marriage. Or some of them don't even think about marriage. You know? So, so that's why you're saying it don't last these days, because
People are not on those same wavelength.
they're not on the same wavelength. They don't have the same principles.
Well, but it's also that I mean, to have a successful relationship, you want to find someone that have the same values and principles as you, right? But the attitude of you can't tell me what to do, right? But I feel like that's such a immature thing to say, because when you're in a relationship, you're gonna have to compromise.
True.
You know what I mean? And like, hey, I don't like you doing this. You know, you work with that, around that.
But that's why I say these days, the first thing you have to talk about is your principles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But these days, they don't do that. What do? It's Tinder, right? If you have Tinder or Snapchat, you already failed, in my opinion.
Shoot.
Right?
If we said Snapchat, you think Snapchat is a dating app?
Dude, we were just having a debate about that.
Facebook is a dating app these days. Instagram is a dating app these days.
I don't
Any
think
social media is a dating app these days.
I think it's
It is,
Tinder.
dude, I'm telling you.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
How do you feel about me being an influencer on a bunch of dating apps?
Ooh. I like the question. She switched the question. She's asking the question now.
Yeah.
it was a tough pill to swallow, to be honest, because when you told me about it, I had to think about it. I was like, dang, a lot of people's gonna look at you. A lot of
That's
people
the
is
same
gonna.
problem I had with posting, actually.
A lot of people is gonna flirt with you and all that stuff. It's like I have to expose you into this because this is your job now. Like nowadays, it's being on social media is like a job now, right? And it's surprisingly doing really well, you know. And it's something of like I would like to say I'm a traditional guy, but a modern traditional guy. I guess I can be a little progressive, right? So I don't know.
It's a little bit.
It's tied down to communication. If I don't like what you're doing, I just communicate that with you. And if you refuse to like respect my my boundaries, then that's something that we would talk about closed door. Like, hey, you know, it may not work out, you know. So, but everything you're doing is fine. I don't really care, you know.
I was mostly just messing with you with that question, like making fun of him for saying that everything's a dating app.
Oh.
That was a good answer still.
Bro, everything is a dating app, though. The truth of the matter, these days, people jump, like how many people jump on your Facebook Messenger to shoot you a message like, hey, what's
I
up?
got a question for you.
Or Instagram, and what's up? Like, what are you up to? Like, nobody randomly messages you, hey, with the, like, a hard eyes. Nobody does that. Or, hey, let me add you on Snapchat. You know, like, I've deleted Snapchat a long time ago for a lot of reasons. Because I realized really quick that if I kept it, I'm going to be in trouble. Okay? The only reason I have Instagram and Facebook right now is for the business. Mm-hmm. And I was telling somebody just a couple weeks ago, one day I'm going to give my Instagram and Facebook to somebody to manage for me. You know, I would give them what to post, and I don't touch it no more. You know, I don't like social media. Do I post on it? Yes, because a lot of the people that are around me, they like to see it. My clients love to see what I'm doing, right? And that's I started showing that only a couple of years ago. Before, I never posted anything on my stories, nothing, you know. But I don't know what it is, but Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, 1,000%. Like if you're in a relationship, delete Snapchat. If you are in a relationship, delete Snapchat.
The disappearing messages.
They didn't make that app to disappear pictures and messages for no reason. The whole purpose of the app was designed for you to do what is made for you to do. You know what I mean?
It's to send pictures
Okay.
of your friends. And
So another girl sending him pictures that you can't see the pictures no more. I know you trust him. Do you feel comfortable of another girl doing that all the time?
No.
Then that's your answer. So what happens when the bold girl decides to send him a picture in the shower?
But why would you put yourself in that situation?
You don't have to put yourself in this
Okay,
situation.
let me ask you this
That's what
question.
I'm
Let me
trying
ask
to
you this
tell
question. Is the Academy a dating place?
Our Academy, no.
Well, I'm saying, is the Academy...
Our Academy, no.
They're gonna be like the band group of dating now.
No, that's not. You're talking about a group of healthy individuals, and we all know the principles.
Then what about the same thing with I only have friends that are respectful and, healthy, but in the app.
Not on Snapchat.
I think every
If you wanna-
platform has the possibilities to turn into that.
Yes.
The dating app.
Yeah. I mean, like Facebook and Instagram, all of them are. All of them are. How many messages have you received on those social media platforms that are people trying to mess around? How many?
Personally, 0.
You're a lie.
No, 0, 0, 0.
Okay. But Facebook and Instagram, like I said, we have to ignore it because of business. Okay, a lot of business comes from Facebook and Instagram.
100%.
All right? But when it comes down to Snapchat, you have to delete Snapchat if you're in a relationship. That's me. I'm not in a relationship right now. I delete Snapchat. I don't want the headache. It's trouble. I know what it is. If you say it's not, you're lying. You are lying. There's 40-year-old women that are married that are on Snapchat.
But wouldn't you?
Why you have them
wouldn't
at
you
it?
know that if like Instagram and Facebook is different. Anybody can message me, right?
True.
But Snapchat, I gotta pick and choose.
You get to pick and choose, yeah, but even when you pick and choose, sometimes people get bold and still do things. Do we agree or disagree?
But I would, I would want to pick somebody that's not going to do that. Maybe.
In the best case scenario, yes. But let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to reverse it. And if you say no, I already know you're lying. You have Snapchat?
I got Snapchat.
You got Snapchat? You got Snapchat? Okay. I don't have Snapchat. I guess I'm too old for this
You have
stuff.
Instagram?
I do have Instagram,
You
but
have Facebook?
what did I tell you?
Guess what? Ask me if I have Facebook.
You have Facebook?
Nope.
No, but I have to do it for my business. So I'm trying to get you to understand.
We have to do it for our business.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I have to do it for my business. Have I received messages on my platforms? Yes. 1,000%. Do I ignore them? Yes. If it's business, okay. Sometimes it's a different approach for business and it turns into something else. But we're not talking about Facebook and Instagram. I already said, and I admit that, yes, people message you on there for other reasons. Okay? You probably see this more than anybody. You're the influencer that has 300,000 people on there, So I don't have 300,000 people, and it happens. So I could only imagine having over 300,000 people, okay? But has any of you guys on Snapchat, I already know Gio's answer. He made the look. Have you guys ever received an unwanted message on Snapchat that's inappropriate?
All of yours.
Yours? No.
You are lying. You are lying.
You are lying.
He's lying so hard on you.
You said unwanted.
Ooh, Chris, you better get him.
Hey.
Chris, you better get him. Ben, I'm gonna have to leave the podcast. I have to ask you to leave the podcast.
He said unwanted.
So there's
It
your
does
answer.
happen. It does
There's your
happen.
answer. Okay, so you knowing that, okay, and yes, we know we can say we delete the messages on Instagram and Facebook. We know that. But you knowing that, and the messages delete every 10 seconds or whatever it is. How long is it on Snapchat?
Is it 24
hours.
Yeah.
24 hours?
Yeah.
Save it.
Okay? So you knowing that, and you still have the app for what?
I use it for the Snapchat AI.
Okay, you got ChatGPT.
I like
I like
the philosopher said you gotta listen to different inputs.
Okay, let me make it a more in-depth question. Have you ever received a picture, an unwanted picture from a person that you know that you didn't think you were going to get it from?
Yes, years ago.
Okay, then that's your answer, bro. That's it. Snapchat is for one thing and one thing only. That's to cheat and hook up. That's it.
That's so black and white.
I know it's black and white, but what does it lead to?
You gotta grade it up a little bit.
No, there ain't no grade on nothing. You can iMessage each other on iPhone.
But I want to talk to you guys like how you guys are in a relationship, and like we were talking about how like the same wavelength, right? And how a lot of divorces happen because people are not on the same page, right? But how has both of you guys work out, right? And you're into fitness, and now both of you guys are doing jiu-jitsu. How does dating somebody that's like on the same wavelength affect your life, like personally, like in terms of your growth? When you date somebody that's on the same wavelength.
I was telling Ben this the other day. I said, it's nice to be around somebody who has so much drive. Even like, I think we definitely improve each other. Like, he wouldn't lift if I didn't drag him into the gym. I wouldn't have a BJJ membership if he didn't do it first. Especially since he has, you're making me blush. He has so much drive, like always has to be doing something, even with injuries. Like, I'm going to compete with a broken hand.
He's so tough.
So tough.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's so beneficial, right, guys, to have someone who understand the things you do, right, and the hobbies and the sports that you're in, right? Especially when I was doing bodybuilding, right? If I was dating another girl that is not into fitness, 100%, she's gonna that relationship is not gonna work out, right? Because the things that I went through as a bodybuilder,
Interesting.
right? It's crazy amount of stress, and my emotions, it's all over the place when I'm eating like sub 1,500 calories, especially for a man, right? And let me tell you,
Let me tell you.
it was terrible, right? Like, the amount of crap that she had to put up with me was, I'm surprised she was still with me to this day, really, right? So it's really important to find that person who could understand you, where you're coming from, and can like relate to the things, right? It will also help you, help the relationship to have more patience with each other. And like, okay, I understand where you're coming from and why you're doing this, right? So I'll be more lenient, right? So it's really important for me to find that other person, right? And then she's like she said, she will hold me accountable when I don't want to train,
Yeah.
right?
So I like how you said that, because I talked about that in one of the early episodes of business, because we see that in business a lot. Usually the wife doesn't see the same thing sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for this guy to keep grinding 100-hour weeks when his wife is not with him all the time, when she don't get to see him. But he has a big dream for himself and the family, or for the family, not even himself, right? But sometimes, and I was talking to somebody about this, and sometimes is it better not to have that person, because sometimes you're always seeing each other, and at the true end of it, sometimes you get burned out, you know, or your mindsets get so extreme that both you are operating an extreme mindset, so it kind of takes away from the passion because both of you are so invested in it, you know. But because I believe if you marry somebody that's an adult and mature and has a healthy mindset, that they will support you. You know, whether she does jiu-jitsu or not, she's going to support you because she's a good wife, right? She's mature, she's healthy, she knows your goals and what you're going to have to bring to the table, all right? And so she should be able to understand that. Yes, I know some people say, Mo, you're delusional, like that's not how it works, because you're 28 and I feel like these days younger girls don't understand that, because younger girls these days are very clingy, right? So they always want to be around, they always want to be clinging on to you, which is annoying, right? There's nothing to lie about. It gets annoying, okay? So I feel like when the maturity level is there, is they understand that, and you're free to go and work hard and train hard. But the other aspect of it, yeah, is it cool sometimes to have that other person, you know, and like both of you are in fitness, both of you are in jiu-jitsu now. that's on the same mindset, same level as you, and y'all doing it together. You know, how important is that for you? Like how much, or Chris, how important do you see that for ladies? Either way, either not to have somebody doing the same thing as you, or have somebody doing the same thing as you, to have somebody around you that's involved with what you do. And like, you know, all of us, we're involved so much with jiu-jitsu. Like we're traveling so much, we're doing all this, and he's lifting all the time, you're lifting all the time. So it doesn't matter whether it's fitness or jiu-jitsu, how important is it for the other person, significant other? Their support, what does it mean?
I think honestly it depends. What support you need versus what's going to start to annoy you. We both started giggling when you started talking about like the girl being clingy, because I'm so clingy. Like if he wanted to be around me all day long, I would do it. And I would be happy with that. So like I love lifting together every day. I love training together every day. Now he might get sick of seeing my face, you know, and that's fair. But it just depends.
Well, I don't, right? I was like super happy when you told me that you wanted to do BJJ, right? One of the reasons why I wanted to work out with you is just because it's that time of just working out, right? It's like you also keep me disciplined, really, right? And I don't really mind it because I told you that you want to stay in the gym for like 2 hours. I'm like, yo, let's cut this in half, because we got things to do. We got better things to do. Like, so we got to make a workout that's more efficient for us, you know. So we try to compromise, do an hour and a half, you know. And it's I don't personally have a problem with that. Like we're like seeing her face all the time when we're working out. It's not like we're goofing around and try to spend quality time to each other. We're working out. When we go to the gym, we're working out. So it's kind of like work. And same thing with jiu-jitsu, right? So going to the gym is her job. It's like her job, really. And then BJJ is also like my job, getting better, becoming a competitor. So when I go to our academy, I'm just focusing on working out, and that's why it's kind of like I don't get really tired of seeing her face, because if we're doing the like spending quality time every single time, then maybe you get tired of each other, but we're not, you know. So it's kind of like keeping it professional and also personal, separate. Yeah.
So now both of you guys doing jiu-jitsu, right? So the first question that I want to ask is, Chris, what made you jump into jiu-jitsu, and how has it changed your life so far? I mean, what you've been in a month and a half, maybe?
About a month, I would say.
Month, you know?
It's funny because it's almost the same experience I had when I first started lifting. Like, the ability to get myself up and through that door is so difficult. I'm so uncomfortable for like, but you know, I gotta think, what is an hour and a half of being nervous, being uncomfortable, to better myself. So it's nice to know that I have that capability. It was hard though, physically, for one. Like, so tired, so sore. Mentally, I'm still working on it, I think, because like I said, I'm just like, I'm embarrassed the whole time. But it's definitely helping me build confidence in myself, so I'm working on that.
So when you said that it helps you build confidence, do you think it's important for women to train martial art? Do you think it's enough for women to like work out and get stronger in the gym? You think that's enough to build that confidence to handle against guys who's like are doing creepy stuff, you know?
The thing is, I wasn't even talking about the confidence of like being able to handle myself, like having the confidence that if somebody approached me, I would know what to do. For me, I was talking more about
the ability to put myself in such an uncomfortable situation and still thrive in it. But I do think it's important. For one, when you say just weightlifting, we talked about how, like, no matter how much I lift, I'm never going to be as strong as you, unless, you know, I bring in some foreign objects, substances, you know, whatever. So, like, the strength for most women is never going to be enough. Even me, like, if I'm strong, I would say I'm stronger than the average woman, even who lifts. But a lot of, like, men who don't lift are still going to have the same strength, if not more, than a woman who is weight training. So, like, knowing how to handle your weight and somebody else's, what are you laughing at, boy? Knowing how to handle, somebody else could be a big benefit. And, you know, What?
What are you laughing about?
They're having a staring contest, I guess.
These guys have been on something the last 3 weeks, by the way. 3-4 weeks.
I just been listening to what she be saying. I don't know why he laughed.
All right, sorry for the interruption, Chris. Let her proceed, guys.
Continue.
What was I talking about? Where was I?
Guys being stronger. Even the ladies.
Yeah. And even, you know, I went through something traumatic myself. And even, like, training with Sam, the first thing she told me was, like, I love to tell women about this position because, you know, like, if you're ever in an uncomfortable situation, but at this point it would have been, like, she's on top of me, you know, it would have been more than uncomfortable. She says, like, I love to tell women about this position, this defense. So I definitely think it's important, but not even just as a woman. Like, everybody should be able to defend themselves because you've said it, somebody's going to come for you one day. It's going to happen.
So to piggyback back off of that, what makes you break the ice to want to do BJJ? Like, I know it's like very uncomfortable when you're like, because like BJJ is like a very what's it called? A lot of contact with each other, right? So what made you overcome that feeling of, you know, of intimidation and also like being comfortable, being like getting grappling with other people that you do not know, you know?
Well, I'm still working on it. You know, even you know, the thing that kept stopping me from walking through the door was that panic of, like, being stuck under another person, and I still have to fight it it doesn't matter who I'm rolling with. Mm-hmm. If I get in, like, a specific position when I'm, like, stuck under somebody, I'm fighting panic the whole time. So it's not an easy thing that you can just switch on and off. It takes work. It's a fight.
Very nice.
I like that. So you're coming around to the jiu-jitsu.
We'll see.
I'm interested to see in 6 months where you're at. And I'm very happy. I remember when he told me, I think we were running when he told me that she's gonna do it. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy that you're training because one of my biggest goals as an academy owner is to spread jiu-jitsu to as many people as possible, but more importantly, ladies, right? Because at the end of the day, that's who needs it the most. You know, society is crazy. There's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of trash human beings out there. And so at least you having the confidence to even just say no, right? Which a lot of ladies don't even have that. Or the confidence of saying, hey, you're getting too close. You know? Jiu-jitsu will give you that. You know, it's only a matter of time. Some people may take 6 months. Some people may take a few years to get that confidence from jiu-jitsu. But you will get that confidence from jiu-jitsu. Because the more you go hands-on, the more you get in that uncomfortable position that you hate, your body's going to learn how to calm down. Mm-hmm. It's going to learn how to escape. And when you learn how to escape and it happens in a real roll, then your confidence goes up. Doesn't matter how physically strong you are. You have to be able to fight that position that you hate.
I'm learning that because I'm stronger than a lot of women. Does not matter. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they'll take me out. It doesn't matter.
So, has your workout program changed at all? Like when you start BJJ? Like is there any exercise that you had to change to accommodate you training in the academy?
No. Although cardio, I never did cardio before this. I've had to like, and stretching too.
Yeah.
My lifts didn't change. Initially I would have said, I was thinking about this last night. Initially I would have said, like, no, I didn't change anything. And then initially I would have said, maybe I've been more tired with the added physical, whatever word I'm looking for. But actually it's made me, since I'm doing this cardio, since I'm doing this extra stretching, it's boosted my appetite like nothing I have ever seen. So actually I have more energy throughout my day, more energy for my lifts, because I've been eating so much as a result.
Wow.
Very nice.
Help your sleep any?
Oh yeah, that too,
Yeah.
that too. Although I'm kind of a wild sleeper. I don't sleep very well. But when I get home after BJJ, my head hits the pillow and I'm gone.
That's how I am. A lot of people tell me like I can't sleep. I'm like, I train jiu-jitsu. So that's cool. Fitness, influencer, jiu-jitsu, weightlifting. But we didn't necessarily get down to the business part of all of this. So I want to go more into that. What made you get into the influencer life?
Actually, it was, so I was already lifting. I was probably, I want to say I was 3 or 4 years into lifting before I said, hey, I'm going to start posting all of this. And actually it was my brother, my older brother. He would tell me, he'd be like, Chris, you look just as good as all of these fitness influencers. Like, why don't you post? And I'm super shy, super timid. I don't really like attention. I'm very camera shy also. So it was a lot for me to put myself out there like that. But really, I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have all of the support. You know, my mom, when I first got my first like sponsorship, it was these people actually. Shout out to this company, but
What's the company's name? Can you say it?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, you're right. I was about to be like, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but he's totally right. I can't say it. But they're on my Linktree. Shout out. But yeah, it's like this little tiny company. They have like hoodies, and that's it. I made a little deal with them. Come home and I tell my mom. She's so excited. Like, I have never seen her so excited in my life. She starts crying. She's hugging me off like the tiniest little deal. So I think that maybe if I didn't have such strong support, I don't know if I would have started.
So, like, other than that sponsorship from that company, have you got anything else from big companies that try to sponsor you? Are you affiliated with any other fitness?
Are you helping me market right now? Is this?
I don't know.
Yes. I'm a young LA athlete.
That's what I thought you were talking about earlier with that.
Yeah, this is like the very first one that I
Okay.
ever.
So that's not Young LA. Okay.
The pants are, the sweats are.
That's what I was thinking that hoodie was.
But actually, I've avoided a lot of companies, working with a lot of companies, because especially on the internet, this is a big problem I've had with social media. Everybody wants to sell you something, whether it's usually supplements. I've had companies approach me and say, tell your followers, we'll pay you for this, tell your followers you achieved this goal, this physique, by taking our product. They say,
Slimy.
Yep.
yeah, they say, we're going to post your before and afters. Credit this to us, and we'll give you, this hefty sum of money. And that, to me, is very slimy.
Yeah.
So I've had issues with that, too. But
There, like you told me, there are some companies that are actually honest about it, right? Like, hey, be honest with your reviews. If this worked, and if it doesn't, tell you.
See, those are my favorite ones because that's what I want to portray is honesty. And I'm like, never am I gonna sell my soul for a sum, like lie to my follower base for a sum. And I think that's really important. And as a viewer, to be aware that that's happening. Like, everybody wants to sell you something. So if I'm promoting something, it's because I actually believe in this product and I really like it.
All right. That's cool. I like the last part you said. Sticking to those principles, How has it changed your life, the influencer life? You're on camera, everybody sees you. How has that changed your life? And how do you see the future with being an influencer?
I honestly want to say it hasn't changed it that much. Maybe if I was like famous, it would.
She's very downplaying this. She had people came up to her and asked her to take pictures and autographs.
That was like, just, okay, I have.
Every gym she went to, like, yo.
But it's like, because I started in the gym and then I started with the media, everybody already knew me. Like, I had this rep of, or this is what I've heard, but I had this rep of, like, she just puts her head down and gets to work, and, like, I don't really like to talk to people. I just went in and did my stuff and left. So a lot of people already knew that about me. Although I have had people interacting with me differently, like assuming that because I've started on social media, it's changed me. What's funny?
Giovanni.
I just moved the bottle and they were laughing.
Oh my gosh. I can't have you on the podcast no more. Either one of you.
So rude.
Can you let the lady
saying,
speak?
Yeah, let the lady speak.
You're the one that laughed.
You're over here dying.
I have had people interact, like people who already knew me, assuming that I'm like doing stuff for views or like videoing other people in the gym, like just kind of stuff that I view as disrespectful. They think that now I'm gonna start doing it, which is like kind of demoralizing to me. Like, you already know me.
Yeah.
But it's the norm. That's the problem, So this is gonna go with the next question I'm gonna ask. What is for influencers? Me personally, like I said, I don't want to be the social media guy. I don't have a big social media following, but I already have a headache from my social media. Okay, so I can only imagine with over 300,000 followers, what can that cause? What would your advice be to people that are coming up in the influencer life or wanting to do it? Is it easy, first of all? Is it easy? Is it hard? And what are some traps to look out for?
It's almost the same as what I would have said for somebody who starts lifting. I don't take in other people's content very much, really. I don't compare myself to the people online, which is a good and a bad thing because I'm very wholly my own person. But also a lot of times I'm not up with like the current trends and whatnot that I need to be up with because I'm not viewing other people's. Hold it together.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Is she saying something funny?
We trying to have a podcast here, guys. Gosh.
For all the viewers, I apologize for the childish acts from Ben and Giovanni.
I've been sitting here still listening to what Chris saying.
Very still.
Chris, keep going.
You apologize.
Okay, what'd you ask me? You asked me good things, bad things.
Traps to look out for.
The traps would be, I just mentioned it, the companies that are dishonest. Caring too much about
what other people think. Like, I'm not very bad about this, but I almost had to get over it. Like people saying, yeah, just caring. Like people saying she's on steroids, and like my ego wants me to go get my blood work done and post it right now because they're saying that. But in the end, it really doesn't matter at all.
You know what? That's one big thing, because like I know you said that a lot of those guys say like you're on steroids, and they're actually the slander, right? Because it's mainly hating. You got better physique than guys, but like, how do you not let the negative comments get to you? Like, because I know negative comments from men, from women, people that are jealous, people that want to be you. Like, how do you not let the comments get to you? Because I know a lot of YouTubers that used to follow in the past, like they pretend like it doesn't get to them, but at the end of the day, it does get to them. So how do you not let that get to you?
It's just I think it's almost just being secure with yourself, knowing that if somebody is spreading negativity to me, like never would I go on another person's page and say like just negative things to bring them down. And I think that if somebody's doing that, they probably need a little bit of help with themselves. And they're spreading that negativity to almost put themselves above others because they're having their own issues.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to like to let's say the future young lady that's watching this, or the future young man that's watching this, that wants to become an influencer, right? And in the fitness industry, but they feel like, who am I? Who am I to start uploading? Did you feel those emotions? Like, did you have those thoughts? And like, what do you say to that person who's like, I'm not worthy, or why would anybody even want to have any interest in me to begin with? Why should I even? Like those, when your mind starts talking to you in that negative way.
I was fortunate because I was already pretty secure with myself and who I am. I would say just post. Like, when you start posting, assuming you're doing it a lot, like for me, I was posting every day, sometimes multiple times a day, to try to get the algorithm to like pick me up, and it will pick you up, and it does find you your people. That's kind of one of the benefits about the magic of the internet and these apps is it will find you your people if you just keep posting. So if you have something that people want, you'll find them.
Right.
So you say like that's one big thing that people say. I hope the algorithm picks me up, and they're like, I got lucky. It was like, is that what you have to do? You just have to keep uploading and uploading.
That really is. I would say that's the trick. And for me, maybe I was unique. I don't know, but just to be yourself, and I'm so cliche right now, but be yourself and post you and your values and your style and your, whatever you want. And yeah, it'll find the people that you want. I will say you have to post, keep posting, post every day. And that's the trick.
You think your physique has any play into you becoming successful?
Yes. Because it's so rare for a woman to, it's hard. It's hard for a woman to grow muscle. It was hard for me. And I have I think I have some genetic background. Just looking at my dad and my siblings, we all grew muscle pretty easily. If I were to, I don't like to do this, but if I were to compare myself to another woman, if we started at the same time, maybe I grew faster. And I was also abnormal because my upper body grew pretty easily. I said, I started hitting upper body hard because I thought I wouldn't be able to grow. And so I had Dorito status. My legs were so small because I would train legs once a week, not really go that hard, because I was under the assumption that as a woman, I would get the lower half first and it would be so much easier. I kind of forgot your question. Did I answer it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and there's another big thing. We just always have there's always things that go on YouTube, like how much money can you make off YouTube, TikTok, and all this. How big do you have to get to finally have the opportunity to be able to start generating some income from like social media platforms?
I'll say the majority of it is going to be from like your sponsorships. It'll help if you are reaching out to companies saying like, hey, this is what I bring to the table. Here's why you want me. See, I got big enough, or I guess I got lucky to where like my biggest sponsor right now, they reached out to me and they were my favorite. So immediately I was like, yes. But just putting yourself out there and reaching out to the companies that you value and you know, are fans of. And if they want you, it'll happen.
Okay.
Don't you also have to like reach a certain amount of followings to get?
That's for like, say TikTok, for example. In order to apply to like get money per view, per video, you need to have a certain amount of followers. But like I've seen people who have like a fraction of my followers who are sponsored with like these big companies, and you know, they're sending them apparel and they get commission probably. So if it's not like an individual, like you reaching out to somebody else, you do have to have like a certain following or a certain, you know, amount of subs to just get that baseline like check.
Which one is treating you well, Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram, I get a lot more uptime on Instagram, but they almost make it more complicated to monetize on Instagram, which I thought it would be the opposite, because TikTok is known to be kind of like shady, maybe, or maybe that's just the media. We had
Conspiracy behind TikTok.
yeah, we had like the ban happen earlier this year. But TikTok I haven't experienced this on Instagram yet. TikTok, you can get like shadow banned. You'll upload videos and they will just not get views.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So
You on YouTube?
Yes.
You are?
YouTube is supposed to be like the best.
That's what I was gonna say.
I've heard YouTube is like the mecca for money making.
I'm trying to get her on there, but you know.
You need to take all your Instagram reels and post them for YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. I thought initially that my YouTube content would have to be different, but I guess it really
It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Now, in the future, if you do like personal training, then you can add that as a content, like episode, you know, whatever it is. Personal
Actually,
training.
my followers they're just like you. When are you posting to YouTube? And I should post it. They literally they tell me, Chris, if you posted, like you just filmed your workouts and posted the unedited, like raw footage, we would watch it.
Yeah, like this dude that I've been watching is like Sam Solik. You know that dude?
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say his name, but it's like he just talks and works out, and it's like 40-minute video, and it's so genuine. It's like entertaining, and this dude is just working out. But I think definitely YouTube, because I'm a YouTube guy. I don't use TikTok or any other thing, so like I think there's a lot of people like me, so I think that's another like base you could access.
Well, I'm going to post the podcast on my YouTube, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think if you put all the reels, because the good thing about the reels that you have, they're short reels, right? How long are they?
Just like a few seconds, no more than
So
30 usually.
that's YouTube Shorts, and so YouTube Shorts, everybody gets that, and so some reels I post. I mean, this is on a small page. We get 3,000 views on it. So if you get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, then you can monetize your page. You know, and if your followers translate, then you're gonna have a lot of viewers.
How many subscribers?
1,000 to
1,000.
monetize, yeah.
Watch out for my YouTube account.
Then you get the money. And so I think you can do good on YouTube. Just go for it. You know.
Yeah. I'm like being such a hypocrite saying like, just do it.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, you have enough content already. Just take the reels that you got, the short reels, and put them to YouTube Shorts.
This will be the conversation that makes me do it right here.
You know, and so you have the content. All you're gonna do is just refabricate it and switch it over, put a nice caption, a motivating caption, in the YouTube Shorts, and that's it. You're done. Boom. You know, and then for your longer YouTube videos, you need to make like what your people are asking. You know, because you need to follow. This is like the business part. You need to go for what they want. You know, and so because you have a following and people that follow influencers, you can make a shake. Go, you know what? Test this out this week. You drink shakes, like you make them or no?
Not really, but I would.
Go make like whatever protein shake you want. Get the ingredients, throw it in the blender. Have this all recorded and edit it, whatever. And then throw it on YouTube and go post it on Instagram and TikTok. Hey, just uploaded one of my favorite breakfast shakes. And let's see what that does. Let's just see what it does.
Really, it would probably be like, here's my favorite. Like, here's my arm day. Here's my chest day. And then I would go and say, hey, I just uploaded because that's usually what people want. They do want diet, but I've told my people I don't really follow a diet. So now they're like, well, if you don't have a diet, toss us them workouts.
So do that. Do an arm workout. You know what I mean? They just want to see content of you. That's all it is. And so that's how you're going to pull them to YouTube. The only way to grow YouTube is to post and tell them to go to it. And if you got that many followers, you can get to 1,000 subscribers. You know? And so YouTube is where the money's at, from what I understand. So I would be going to it, you know?
You guys talked about a diet and a light bulb went off. Do you think you're healthy right now?
I would say yes, but I'm right now, for my level of activity, I don't think I'm eating enough. And that shows the main part is it shows in fatigue. Like, I won't have energy throughout my day, and I won't have energy for my lifts. And, you know, when my mom died, it really killed my appetite. Like, I was not eating very much. But even now, like, I've boosted it, and I feel so much better throughout my day. So I would say that's my only thing that would make me less healthy than I should be.
Do you agree with people saying that you can only achieve this physique that you have by not eating?
No, because although I'm lucky in the way that I was skinny, and I'm like naturally skinny, so I never had the struggle of trying to lose weight. So, like, especially when I first started lifting, I was so hungry all the time. I was starving. So I would just like eat everything in sight, and I didn't get like fat. It just went straight to muscle. So I've been lucky there to have, like, I guess, a fast metabolism and never have to struggle with like gaining too much weight.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. I learned a lot so far. Is there anything else you want to add to this? We're going to tag you, so our peeps can follow you. I've already been telling the ladies in our gym about you, so they're looking forward to this episode. Gio and Benny, want to add anything else?
I want to ask you one last thing. So what is the biggest thing that fitness has taught you, and what are principles that young ladies and young men should keep in mind when they begin their fitness journey?
Fitness. I think the main thing is probably that it's taught me confidence. Just to believe in myself. Like, you know, when I started, I didn't think that I had the capability of being this strong. And especially I was starting on like, almost like alludes to my origin story, but when I was starting, I was in a very bad place. All my goal was just to feel better. Like, I felt small, I felt weak, and I wanted to feel better. I didn't necessarily know that I could, but now I do. And just that it never would have happened if I would have focused on everything that could have gone wrong instead of picturing myself, you know, with this body. Like, if you would have asked me a decade ago if
I thought I could do this, I would be like, no, you're nuts. But the ability to try and just do that for yourself is important to me. And really just the persistence, not even motivation. Motivation gets you started. Dedication keeps you going. Like, never am I motivated now to, like, go to the gym. I'm not excited to get up and go. It's just part of my day. It's part of my habits. So that dedication and persistence.
Dedication and persistence, biggest principles.
For me. Oh, also, yeah, shout out to Young LA. Use my code if you want, code Chris, if you guys want any sort of new lifting apparel. They're definitely my favorite. So
How do you spell Chris?
KRIS.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Is the code Chris or the actual code is code Chris?
The code is Chris. Quotes around KRIS. Chris.
Okay, so Chris is the special secret code for young LA guys.
Yeah,
Exclusively.
thanks for that.
The Sharpen Your Sword podcast listeners.
15%. Yeah, they got all kinds of apparel.
All right, I'm gonna look into it. Well, thank you, Chris, for being on this podcast.
Thank you for having
Really
me.
appreciate it. Guys, Giovanni, co-host, thank you as always.
Yes, sir.
Ben, thank you. They were goofing off a little bit today. But that's what it's like to have these guys in the room. That's just the raw emotions, genuine energy they have. They're always goofing off. So, guys, we're going to wrap this episode up. I hope you guys learned something from this. For the people that are at gym from that follow this podcast, Chris trains jiu-jitsu with us now. Ask her all the questions that you want. She didn't tell me to say that. I'm just saying that. But I know she's more than willing to help you guys out with fitness and stuff like that, and workouts. Ask her questions. And I know there's big things coming from her direction, and I'm excited to see where it's going. And like always, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. Please like, share, comment. Help us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, so we can keep this growing and we can keep bringing in people to give you guys value, because that's the biggest goal we have, is to help you guys sharpen your sword so you're better for tomorrow, for yourself, for your family, community, and country. All right, guys? So peace out. We'll catch you on the next episode.